Well, hello, Vanessa. It is so wonderful to have you here with me today. I'm so excited to be talking to you. Thank you for taking the time to talk to me today. How are you doing?
I'm awesome. I cannot complain. Life is good.
Mm, wonderful. I know you have so much going on, and it's a good thing. And I know it's not like you're overdoing anything, but somehow you have energy to put yourself in many different areas, which I can't wait to get right into.
Definitely.
Okay, but let's start with what sparked your interest or your love for nutrition. Let's go all the way back.
Yeah. Yes, let's go back. So, I'll go back even further because I
Okay.
started in marketing. So, in my
Oh,
undergrad, I did marketing. Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yes. So I got my bachelor's in business marketing. I graduated from Andrews University. So if anyone watching that went to Andrews, that's
Oh,
where I
yay.
graduated. Yeah.
Oh, so you're from Michigan?
hmm Originally from
Oh,
Michigan.
okay, very good.
Yeah. So I graduated and I started working at Whirlpool. I was working in a cubicle, not my favorite thing.
Yeah.
And I was,
Okay.
yeah, working with marketing and it was good, but I always knew my personality needed to do something with purpose. And
Yes.
whatever marketing I do had to have a purpose. It couldn't just be marketing for appliances or something that I don't even have a passion for.
Okay, got it. Got it.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I knew I wasn't excited about it. I wasn't excited about, washing machines and fridges and things. So I
Although
have
they are a very important part of our
they
lives.
are. They are. So if you are
Yeah.
out there and you market that, that's awesome.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, we need all the jobs.
Yeah.
So
But I understand. I understand.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, exactly. So I I didn't really pray about it, but I always feel since this is a Christian podcast, which I love, it's nice to be able to talk about God. I feel like
Yes.
he has always led no matter if I've prayed or not, which is pretty
Mm.
awesome. He has
Ooh,
a great way
yes.
of always being there. So he opened the door for me to teach English in Korea. So I went there.
Wow.
Yeah, and
Awesome.
I wasn't so scared. I felt like in my heart it was the right thing to do for whatever reason. So when I got there, I had a hard time immersing. I'm sure anybody can attest to that living in another country. But I finally fell in love with the culture. I fell in love with the food. I fell in love with how they fed their children in the schools. It's way different. So I was really impressed with that. I was impressed with that they gave them fish and rice and nothing processed. Everything was cooked on the spot. They had a cook in the kitchen just preparing everything. And kimchi, which is one of the superfoods.
Yes, indeed. It's got a lot of probiotics there.
Yes, I love kimchi now. I hated it at first and now I love it. It's so good. It's definitely an
Nice.
acquired taste.
True. It is
Yeah.
for sure.
Yes. So I was just mesmerized by that. And I was mesmerized by the fact that like I would walk from the school to my house and I would see the fruits and vegetables on the street with dirt on them still, like they had just been brought from the fields. And I just noticed they looked healthy, they looked young, and they were active. So I came back and I was like, you know what? I think I want to go into nutrition marketing. So I came back. I tried to find a job in nutrition marketing, but surprise, surprise, you actually need to know about nutrition to market it.
Okay,
So,
fair enough. Fair enough.
yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I was like, didn't I just say it's great for you and just market it?
Yes, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, I don't blame you for thinking that way. That also makes sense too, right? Just
yeah.
say it. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I think my passion came from the fact that when I was younger, I was obese as a child. And so I was pretty overweight. I had lost a lot of weight. And so I had already had a passion for nutrition, but I hadn't mixed the two, like marketing and nutrition together. It didn't cross my mind that that's what I could have done, you know?
Got it.
So I ended up, I knew I always wanted to move to California. Being from Michigan and having the cold weather is great, but I knew I wanted warm weather. My friends were out here. A lot of them were going to school here at Loma Linda University. So it was kind of a no-brainer. I just went for it. The one thing that I was confused about was the MS program and the MPH program. You know, when everyone's like, which one do I do? Which one is
That's
the right
true.
one?
Yeah, exactly.
So that's kind of where I was stuck, but I emailed a couple of the professors. I did my research, talked to some of the students, and I got a feel for what they both entailed. So I would recommend that to anybody considering doing, you know, trying to decide between the two. Do your research, talk to people, get a feel for it. Don't just jump head first into, that's just how I am. I like to do my research anyway.
You know what? But I support that. What you just said is very valuable. Yeah. It's important for everyone to do that. If they're like, whoa, 2 different programs. And it's best to talk to more than one person. And
definitely. To navigate a little bit more. But I knew once I kind of heard both of them, part of me thought, oh, I should do MS because it's clinical. And, you know, you always hear from your parents, you know, since you were a kid, you should be a doctor, you should be a nurse. Everything's clinical, right? But in my heart, I'm like, I don't want to do that. I like the public health program. I want to be connected with people and programs and more of a preventative side and preventative efforts as opposed to treatment and that kind of thing. And for sure, I made the right choice because once I started doing my internships and things like that, I could see for sure that public health was the right fit for me.
Absolutely. Yes. And God was leading you and guiding you in that.
Definitely. 100%. 100%. Yeah.
Awesome. Great. So you got to Loma Linda, and what were your thoughts, feelings, experiences going through the program? Was it what you expected or not? Surprises?
Yeah, actually it was awesome. I thought it was really well thought out. I thought that all of my professors, including yourself, just had so much knowledge. I was very impressed by that. I just really, really enjoyed my experience. Just like I mentioned, everything was really comprehensive, where I got to dabble in a lot of different things to see what really spoke to me with what I wanted to do after school. So, you know, we had cooking class. I'm not a cook, so I know it's crazy to talk to a dietitian that doesn't cook. I eat healthy. I eat raw, okay?
That's great. Fantastic. There you go. Yeah. That's what counts.
Yeah, it's not for everyone, but, you know, so cooking was cool. It was interesting. I like to see how you could work in a kitchen setting, doing the internship at Kaiser. It's very different than what I wanted to do, but it was good to see that. It's good to see that as a student, all the different aspects. Right. I love that you guys had things set up for internships, so we didn't have to go out looking. And I had heard from other people that's a big deal.
Oh, it is. It's hard if you're in a program in which it's separate, in which the student does a bachelor's and then they have to find their own, internship program. And there are more students than places that are available. So it makes it tricky.
Yeah, so that was fantastic. And I think I would have taken it for granted had I not known that that's something, you know, but then you get to meet other students from other schools, and that's just such a nice thing. Yeah, I just really enjoyed everything. And I would say that I talking to you a little bit, I know you have, it's been 7 years, I think. It's been crazy. It's
wow,
crazy.
Really? That you left us?
Yes.
No way. I always get surprised every time I talk to all of you. Really? No way.
I know. It feels like I just graduated, but I'm sure things have changed and you guys have added things. But I know that when I was there, it was awesome. And so I'm assuming whatever you guys have added or made different is even better. So
Yeah, I'm pretty sure in the MPH program they continue to revamp it, make it better too. And I know on our end we've subtracted, added, so
Mhm.
tweak and
Mhm.
yeah, because we don't want to stay, where
Mhm.
we were at. We always have to progress and meet the
Mhm.
needs of what's the latest in the world of
Mhm.
dietetics.
Yeah. And I will say, even though I did not pursue MS, you guys did a really good job of preparing MPH to do MS if we wanted to, like, or rather
Yay.
work in a clinical setting when we did leave. So
Ah,
that was nice
yay.
that that was required to do some clinical hours,
Right.
because it's true. You never know. You graduate and you're like, oh, I wanted to do MPH, but I don't anymore. So it gave people the flexibility to go do clinical if they want to, or they could do, if they graduated MS, they could go do public health. So
Exactly. It does go
yeah,
both ways. So
yeah,
just as long as you have that RDN, no matter which program, you can
exactly.
do either or just something completely different in nutrition.
Definitely. Oh yeah. I mean, you can kind of even create your own little niche.
Oh, yes.
so
And that,
many, so many things you could do.
that's so true. And I know that you've also flourished in other areas, which I definitely want to also get to. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So when you were going through the program, were you thinking, okay, I have a really good idea of what I want to do after graduation? Was that becoming clearer, or still you were like, okay, let's see. Let's see.
Yeah. I think I had no idea.
That's fine. Yeah,
Yeah.
I love the transparency.
Yeah. And I think that also just is my personality. I've met people who know through and through what they want to be from the age they're 5, and they're like, I know what I'm going to do. And they just do it. Well, I'm one
Right.
of those people that's like, ooh, shiny object. Oh, shiny.
I love it. I love your personality. So cute.
So it's just, I see something exciting, innovative, and I want to be a part of it. So I think that was a little tough for me, because getting to see all of, even clinical, I was confused. I was like, should I do clinical? Should I work in a kitchen? Kitchen seems pretty cool. There's a lot of really awesome benefits to it. Should I work public? So there was a lot of what ifs, but I think it really came down to just applying, seeing who even wants me.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that
And then
works too.
then kind of figuring it out from there.
Yeah. That's great. So what was your first job that you landed?
So I applied for lots of different jobs. I did apply for a kitchen job. I did apply for clinical, and I applied for public health. So I ended up in public health. I went for a clinical interview, and I don't think this is normal, but they drilled me about, just like, what would you do if this patient had this? And just the
Man.
pressure stressed me out a little bit.
Yeah.
So I
I don't blame
decided,
you.
okay, yeah, they offered me the job, but because of the stress of the interview, I kind of knew, okay, well, if they're like this during the interview, I wonder what they're going to be like to work with.
You know what? That's good. I liked how you were very, much paying attention to that instead of
Yeah.
just blindly saying, well, but they got me. So you know what? I like that. I like that you were
Yeah.
very in tune with that.
Yeah. Being a little selective too, even out of school.
Mhm.
Don't be super selective, if somebody's but you do want to be slightly selective. I think it's
Yes.
just kind of like dating. You're going to be interacting with these people. These are, people you're going to see on a day-to-day basis. You want it to be somewhere comfortable. And so I ended up interviewing for Beaver Medical Group, which is where I've been ever since.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. So
Yeah.
we were in Redlands.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah. And that was actually thanks to Dr. Haddad, because she had gotten an email from Kyla, my supervisor, that they were needing people. And so she had blasted out an email. I applied for it. And so again, it was like Loma Linda always had her back, sets you up right after school, helps you find jobs. You guys are so well connected with people in the community that it's really cool to be able to come to a teacher and be like, have you heard of anything? Can you give me some feedback? Stuff like that.
Oh, yay. So
Mm-hmm.
nice.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. And it's so neat because employers continually stay in touch with us and say, okay,
Mm-hmm.
we've got these openings. Who do you think? I'm always getting that. I'm getting a text and I'll say, oh, what about so and so and so and so? So it's always
Yeah.
fun to be able to pass on information of graduates.
Yes. I love that. It's so helpful.
Yes.
So yeah,
Thank
I've
you.
been there and working there. I love it.
Yeah.
I have had a lot of flexibility to do creative things. And so definitely again, God guiding, he definitely opened that door for me.
Yeah.
And
so true.
yeah, it was just totally godsend.
So what is the type of patients that you see there? What are your specific job responsibilities, classes, or one-on-one sessions? What does that look like for you over there?
Yeah, so I was not hired as a dietitian. I was hired as a corporate health and wellness educator.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. So there are dietitians there that see patients, the 8 hours of the day.
Yeah.
And with me, it was here are your duties and then as needed, right? So then the as needed came into play and they're like, oh, you're a dietitian. We need a Spanish speaking dietitian to see patients on Fridays. So it was kind of nice because although I was not hired as a dietitian, I could still use that one-on-one patient when I want to, but not feel like that's all I'm doing, because I am that personality that needs a lot of different things going on.
You and I are so the same.
Yeah.
I cannot do the same thing over and over again.
Yes. Yes. And some people can, and they love that. They need the repetition, and they love that they clock in, do their repetition of seeing the patients, and that's great. Even my boss knew that, and I said, well, I saw a dietitian position opened up. It pays a little bit more. And she's like, it does pay more, but I know your personality and I feel like you won't like that. I know that you like the flexibility. And I was like, you know what? That's true. And there's other ways I can make money. So it's okay.
Yeah, I love that she was really keeping you in mind as far as really knowing who you are and and still making it work for you. Beautiful.
Yeah, she has done a very good job of seeing what people's strengths are, which is phenomenal when a supervisor can see that. And she saw that, okay, you do speak Spanish. We could use you with the Spanish speaking patients, but the rest of the week you can work on program planning, which is what I love.
Yeah.
I run the employee wellness program. So it's fun to, create challenges, weight loss challenges, eating challenges. And so I do that a lot of the time. And then for the corporate side, I work with San Bernardino County, and they're one of my clients. So I teach classes for their employees, and it's all nutrition or wellness in some kind of aspect.
Oh my. It's almost like you are doing nutrition marketing.
Yes.
It's like except that you are truly teaching because of your degree. You are qualified to go into the nitty-gritty of nutrition.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. So it is fun. It's it came back full circle. God knew the heart, and he knew what I was passionate about. I love content creation, program creation, anything where I get to create and be an introvert and just create. Yeah.
I am an introvert too.
Yeah.
So I get you. I totally get you.
Yes. So that's where I just feel very blessed to have gotten that job.
Yeah. Oh, fantastic. And they are blessed to have you because you have a lot of creativity, and your background of marketing too is so helpful in the job that you're doing. And you've got this amazing energy and zest for life which just shines through. So you're really
Oh,
perfect for that
yeah.
position.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And then other doors opened up for you as far as
Mm-hmm.
other businesses. And I know
Mm-hmm.
you have more than one. So
Yeah.
would love to hear about those.
Yeah. So then, you know, here's another thing I
Mhm.
always, even in my classes in wellness is not just nutrition. It's right. We all know it's mental, it's financial,
Mhm.
it's fitness, it's all the things. And you can tap into just nutrition and miss so much more and wonder why you're not losing weight or why you're unhappy or yeah.
Oh, yeah. You could totally eat well, but not get well if
Mm-hmm.
stress is not managed. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you're
A
right.
100%, yeah. And I have a huge passion for stress management. A lot of my classes that were most recommend or that were most wanted were stress management. Go figure. Especially during the pandemic, I had a lot of,
Yes.
do you have a stress management? Do you have this? And I was like, yeah, we can do that. So yeah, if those things aren't managed for whatever reason, maybe people are stressed about finances, maybe they lost a job, whatever, they're going to end up wanting to overeat, stress eat, whatever. So I I while working at Beaver, I did feel that I was being paid fairly, but I knew that there was a cap. There was a cap for me. And although I had asked for a raise, which I tell women, ask for your raise.
Yes, ma'am. You're
Yes.
right. Mhm.
I had a lot of anxiety because I'm an introvert and I was scared to ask. Maybe I didn't understand my worth either, which is something too. Being a graduate, we don't know our worth
Yeah.
until later, and even then, some people never ask for a raise. And
Excellent point.
yeah, I think as women, I think we need to be more courageous and just do that. And I did, shaking, ask for a raise. But of course, they have their limit and companies will have their limit of what they can give. So
Yeah.
in my mind, I thought to myself, well, you know what? That doesn't mean that I can't go and add to my resume. I can do other things that I enjoy. I can, pursue other businesses on the side and still do my passion for nutrition.
Right.
And yeah, so that's what I did. I actually had started an art therapy class with Beaver. And so that led into me doing pet portraits. So I started selling my pet portraits, and that was really a big blessing too, because I never really understood how God could use art to help people.
Oh,
But
wow.
there's a big need for that too. With my art therapy classes, I just thought that, again, in my limiting beliefs, that people were just having fun. It wasn't really doing anything. And then I would get emails from people saying, you really helped me manage my stress today. Like, you wouldn't believe the day I had. And it was just really awesome. Yeah. So just even through that, it was just so cool to see God working in such an abstract way.
Yes,
Yeah.
indeed. Exactly.
Yeah.
Wow. And you didn't realize it at first,
Yeah.
huh? How God
Yeah.
would use this
Mm-hmm.
mode, this
Yeah.
avenue.
Exactly. So that made me confident in knowing that I could do business for myself and kind of pursue other things. Um, and then I ended up coming or crossing paths with an old friend of mine, and she talked to me about an athleisure brand that she was working with. And I'm like, well, I love fitness, I love nutrition. Why not? I live in leggings. And so that opened up that avenue, which has been so fun, because in that way, God is helping me to meet women and even some men who have never heard of God or who are struggling. And so when we do our meetings, I open with prayer like you did today. We've
Oh,
started Bible studies with our team. Um,
wow.
yeah, so he's working in that way as well with that business. So,
Oh, my. That
mhm,
just makes my heart feel so warm, so encouraged, so
mhm,
inspired,
mhm.
hearing how God is using your other avenues to reach people.
Yeah. It's pretty cool. Yeah. I do believe God will bless anything that you give to him to
Yes.
use. So that's what I've done. I have not always done that. I will be honest that sometimes I've had pride, or I've believed that it was all my own doing, or, you know, me, like, look at me. And in those,
We've
yeah.
all experienced, yeah.
And in those seasons, I found that I was not blessed, and I felt anxious. I felt depressed. I felt it was all on me to succeed. And once I kind of relinquished that control and I realized that it really has nothing to do with me, that I'm just a vessel, that's when I really felt more at peace, felt more that he was really using me.
You hit on something so important, that we are God's vessels.
Mm-hmm.
And if we empty us of ourselves, ask him to empty us of us and to fill up this vessel with him,
Mm-hmm.
he can take us to places where we never ever dreamt we could
Mm-hmm.
go in serving people.
100%. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
I just heard my cat open the door. Sorry about that creak.
I think I saw his little tail.
Okay, yeah. That was Snowbell.
Oh,
She knows how to open the door.
Oh, how sweet.
Snowbell, I'm in an interview right now, so she knew that. What's wrong?
They always know. My dogs always know too.
Right. Yes. So, okay, I am so grateful that you have shared all that. And I just want to go back to you and how or maybe not how, but what are your favorite nutrition practices, or even doesn't have to be nutrition practice, but wellness practices that you do yourself to take care of you?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So I'm all about balance. And so it's almost like I have a mental checklist every day. Did you drink your water? Did you get some activity? Did you, balance your meals? I do this weird thing that every time I eat, I look and I'm like, is there a protein? Is there a complex carb? Is there a vegetable? And just so that I have my mental checklist, did I take care of my health today? Did I put what is necessary in my body to be able to continue to work productively?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Did I put the appropriate gas in my gas tank? So I do that. But I always start my day off with, first thing, I start with God. I do my devotion, get my head right. Then I do my affirmations in the mirror. So I do mirror work.
Beautiful.
And yeah, because I've struggled a lot in the past I had really bad anxiety, really bad depression, from limiting beliefs from childhood, things like that. And then I've worked a lot through it with God, but also I think just affirming to myself that, I'm worthy, I am successful. All of those things have been such like a game changer for me. So do that. Drink a bunch of water in the morning. So first thing in the morning, have my water, not my coffee, as much as I'm tempted.
Good girl.
Yes.
Good girl. So
Yes.
proud. So
Yes.
proud.
So start the day with a big glass of water, and then I get some kind of movement. I go outside, I take my dogs for a walk. And then as far as nutrition throughout the day, I have been doing intermittent fasting for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So I do recommend that to people who maybe are grazers like I used to be. I would graze from late at night to first thing in the morning I was eating again.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's one tip I do give a lot of people who maybe are not structured in their time frames of eating.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you're talking about the time restricted intermittent fasting every day. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I do that too. I don't do it as long, but I try to do 13, 14 hours and then have my meal. And it has helped me feel so much better too. So
yeah. Have you noticed too that like when you're in your fast phase, if you even do a little bit of work during that time, I feel much more clear-headed.
Yeah, true. You know what? You're right. I do start off like you with time in the Word and meditation, prayer, my gratitude journal. And yes,
Mm-hmm.
going through that, and then my workout, and then
Mm-hmm.
I'll eat after that. Well, then take a shower and then eat. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, there is this clarity that does come through, which
Mm-hmm.
it's a beautiful thing to
Mm-hmm.
experience.
Yeah, and that's what I love about it. I do feel so clear and focused. And then I have noticed it's helped me a lot with my digestive system too. The minute I eat, it's like clockwork. 30 minutes later, I want to go to the bathroom.
Wow, yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
right. There you go. Yes, because then you're following the circadian rhythm that God has designed us with.
Mm-hmm.
So, since we're talking about that, going number two, yeah, that's I don't
You're an
I
expert in this field.
no no. Well, yeah, but I was gonna say that's what wakes me up in the morning, even if I want to sleep in. It's like, oh,
Mhm.
I gotta go.
Yes, exactly. You're like, well, that's my wake up call.
Right. I don't even have to wait for the alarm. It's like, oh, the alarm is going to go off soon. But yeah, I mean, for us dietitians to talk about that, that is so important. It is part of our digestive and our gut health. That's where it all begins.
Mm-hmm.
We're going regularly. So I'm glad that for you, it sets you in that path so that you go regularly. So yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, I love that.
Mm.
Yeah, so I love fasting. I think that's one of the things I do enjoy the most. And then
Yeah.
as far as other nutrition practices, I just really stick to balancing my plate. I'm not restrictive in what I eat. I teach moderation. Yeah.
Same here.
So I know. And I've had patients ask me, well, can you teach me this diet or that diet? And I tell them what the diet is going to entail because so many people have misconceptions nowadays of these fad diets and
Correct.
well they saw their neighbor doing it and so their neighbor lost a bunch of weight and it's surely going to work for me, but they don't understand, first of all how restrictive the diet can be.
Right.
Many times they think it's flexible and they can, just fudge it here and there, but you really do have to, if you're going to do it, you have to do it the right way. And then you have to wean off of it the right way. You can't just cold turkey it and then expect to eat however. So I tell people that you want to just learn how to eat the right way. Learn how to eat the right way for the rest of your life. These 30-day challenges, 60-day challenges, they teach you how to do a challenge and then you're left not knowing what to do at the end of the challenge.
Yeah, you know what? You're right. That is an excellent point.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad you
Personally, that's just how I feel about it because then, yeah, you're just learning how to do this restrictive thing for that long. And
correct.
I'm sure it could teach them, some valuable lessons. But I just like moderation. I want people to enjoy their life while they're here. And
absolutely. And I also like to teach mindfulness in addition. So I like to say mindful moderation.
Yes.
Combining it all.
Yes. Yes. How many times I don't even know how many times I've eaten without really thinking about what I'm eating. It's just like in your mouth, multitask.
Right. Exactly. I mean,
Yeah.
I've done that for years and I've really in the past year have only been really making those changes for myself, even though I have been a dietitian way longer than you have, like way longer.
It's always it's like we know the knowledge and I say that to patients too. We all know what we need to be doing. But then it's coming down to why are we not doing it? What is holding us back from doing what we know we need to do?
So true. And I know for me, like with chewing, until I was like, man, why do I burp so many times in a day, like than just the normal amounts? And so I thought, okay, I'll take a digestive enzyme. And it helped. But I'm like, but wait a minute, do I need to rely on this for the rest of my life? And so I evaluated myself. Oh my goodness, I only chew my food like 2 or 3 times and then I swallow. And then when I mindfully chewed 20 to 30, or just until it feels like it's melted, my burping problems are, that gone when I'm good about it. I'm not
When
perfect.
you're not in a rush. Yeah.
I mean, we've gone through COVID and I've just been at home, so I have no excuse for
Yeah.
all 3 meals to be,
Yes.
to be, mindfully
Slow
eating your
down.
meal. So yeah, so that's part of the reason why I've been able to really implement it and have seen a
Mhm.
difference. And it's like, I don't ever want to go back
Yeah.
to just eating at my desk and then working at the same time. Whew.
Mhm.
So yeah.
Yeah, that's a huge one. Yeah, my husband, I had this bad habit. I don't know why. I think I just trained myself when I was a kid to eat over the counter instead of going to sit down and actually enjoy my meal. And he's like, look, we need to sit down and just enjoy the meal. No more eating over the counter. He's like, you're eating like someone's going to steal your food from you. So,
Oh, yeah. Good for Paul. Your
yeah.
husband was the one
Yeah.
that said, "Oh,
Yeah. He said, you
good
need to
for
enjoy.
him."
He loves food and he loves to savor it. So he's definitely a mindful eater. Yeah.
Nice. And you know what? God blessed us with meal times
Mm-hmm.
and to slow down and enjoy the meals that
Mm-hmm.
He has provided us with. So yeah, Paul,
Mm-hmm.
your husband is right. Paul is right. Let's sit
Yep.
down and enjoy
Yep.
it, savor it.
Yep.
It's a
Yeah.
beautiful
It's
thing.
I teach a mindful eating class and we do a practice with a little piece of chocolate and I have them,
Do that.
savor it, feel
Yes.
it. And a lot of people, oh my gosh.
Uh-huh.
So many people, I would put it in front of them. They didn't know it was going to be a part of the class. And by the time it came around to that part of the class, they were like, what chocolate? And I go, but when I put it in front of you, did you guys? And I didn't think to tell them, don't eat it. They just thought, oh, this teacher is so nice. She's giving us chocolate. So then I go, okay, see, this is the lesson. You guys are.
That's right. Still a lesson learned. They didn't
Yeah,
realize you gave
learned.
them chocolate.
Some of them were good and they let it sit there. Others were just like, yeah, this is cool. No questions asked.
But that is such a great lesson because in life, if we are not taking the time to be mindful and to slow down, that's why we're like, guy, I need to eat more because I didn't enjoy it. And so we
Mhm.
go back and we go back. And so there was a beautiful life experience right there that your
Yeah.
class had. So good teaching lesson right there.
I know. And as you teach, you learn. I'm sure as a teacher, you've learned your students enough and their habits that you have to say, okay, here's some housekeeping before we begin. Yada 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 yada. I've had to learn over time. Okay, don't eat your chocolate before we're ready to eat.
There you
Don't
go.
start painting ahead. Like everyone relax.
Everybody chill first.
Yeah, you think their no-brainers, but yeah, people still need to be helped a little bit along the way.
Right. And as teachers, we need to learn that too. And I know for me as a teacher, because I have been teaching for a long time too, I also realize that, oh, I need to give better instructions because I think, oh,
Mhm.
they should know.
They will know. Yeah.
And I'm like,
always
wait a minute, what? No, that's why I'm here. And
Yeah.
they wouldn't know. So, yeah.
So true.
So, what has been a favorite Bible verse that has been meaningful to you?
Yeah. So, being honest again, because I'm all about transparency. I
Absolutely.
did not, yes. I did not always have I was a believer, but I didn't have a relationship with God. And so it wasn't until this year, actually, the pandemic, that my personality thankfully thrived. I'm an INFJ. So being inside and, just being alone, I had more time to think and really analyze my life. And, so that's where I really started. I started going to Bible study with one of my girlfriends. And yeah, so I don't know. I've committed to want to learn more Bible verses.
Yeah. No,
And
that's
I've
fine.
in the Bible app, I'm like, oh my gosh, this verse is great. And it's almost like when you're a kid, the Bible stories and you're like, wow, these Bible stories are magical. But it's not until you're an adult that you really appreciate Bible verses because you're going through going through the battles, going through the different things that God is trying to help you with. So now I read them like, wow, it's all in here. Like every verse seems to be applicable to today and today. So I want to learn more and have it in my heart so that when I'm out and about, things are happening, I can recall them. But the one that I always have loved is the love is patient, love is kind. That's always been a favorite of mine. So
yeah, that love chapter in 1 Corinthians 13, it's so applicable to everyone.
Yeah, so that's for sure. It's always stuck out in my head, and I think it's probably because I haven't always been that patient. I haven't always been that kind. So I think it's just a great reminder that that's really what it's all about, is being kind, being patient.
Yes.
Yeah,
that is the different ways to show love to others. So yeah, I love that you embrace that so much. So
thank you.
oh, Vanessa, thank you for everything that you have shared with us. It has been so inspirational and so encouraging. And how can the listeners get in touch with you? Where can they find you?
So I love social media. And here's my puppy.
Hi, precious. What is your puppy's name?
This is Bailey.
Oh, hi, Bailey. Bailey, you're so adorable. Look at those beautiful eyes. Ah, Bailey.
Yes. She always knows, she always wants to be a part of the lives, and any podcast or anything. But yeah, so Facebook, Vanessa Alardo. And then on Instagram, I'm Vanessa Alardo.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing on both of them. And then that's pretty much it. So if anyone has any questions about anything, I'm an open book to help with anything.
Excellent. Wonderful. Thank you for sharing your information there, your handles for social media. And again, thank you. May God bless you as he continues to bless you in your current job at Beaver. May he continue to pour down his blessings on your businesses, because it's not just a business, but it's also a ministry, which is so beautiful. And I love hearing that. So may God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I always love doing these types of things and encouraging others. So thank you so much.
You're welcome.